All right, welcome everybody. It's your boy Derek, and we got
Mark. I'm here again.
my guy Mark.
Yeah, well, I'm here again. I'm here forever now.
Yes, sir.
I'm here forever now. So.
Yeah. But we are here at the Playbook channel. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome again. Now, like I said, this is a Playbook channel, and we just gonna jump right into it. But before we do that, yo, Mark, how you doing, bro?
I'm chilling, man. How was your week?
Oh man, it was good. It was a good week for football.
Hey, big ups to the Yankees. They're playing tonight, Game 1 for the World Series.
Fact.
Yeah,
big up to them, man. I hope they bring it out. So we from New York, so we gotta represent.
Yeah.
So like I said, welcome again. You're gonna be here for a long time. So we just gonna get straight into it. We're gonna get into the first segment. We got the game recaps. Because we have a lot of crazy games from last week.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So we could start with that Thursday night game, considering that, we can start with that one.
Okay. Let's go with it. What was the score, the final score for that game?
The Rams and the Vikings, that was 20-30.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. This is exactly what I expected for a healthy Rams team.
Yep.
For them to fucking smash. You know what I'm saying? So we got Puka Nacua back. We got Cooper Kupp back. Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford. And we know Kyron Williams is doing his thing. He's actually been holding down the offense in the absence of Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So one of my questions to you was, like, with Puka coming back, how do you think that offense is going to go? But then out of the blue, we got Puka and Cooper Kupp back.
Facts.
So
that's crazy.
we seen how it can go.
So I personally feel like it's going to be a good mix because not only are they going to have to guard Kyron Williams, but they got to guard Cooper, they got to guard Puka. It's just going to make it more versatile for the team. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make more options. It's going to make more looks for them. And realistically, they was feeding Puka.
Yeah.
They was feeding Puka crazy. And I was like, there's no way that this is going to happen.
He's a young bull over there.
But
and Cooper Kupp's made out of glass. So let's be real,
made out of glass. Here you go. But he still scores, though.
He scores.
Puka ain't score.
He scored. But that's the beauty of having Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp there. So you don't have to overuse Cooper Kupp.
Or Puka.
Yeah. And no, you will overuse Puka to
an extent.
Yeah, to an extent.
You can't OD because then they're going to double team him and then they're going to throw the ball to Cooper.
They have a solid squad over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what the rumors was trading Matthew Stafford to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Hell fucking no. Like, after this game, so.
No way.
and if you really look at it, too, in that division, I can't remember right now who's in that division, but the Rams is only one game away from the number 1, number 2 spot in that division.
That division is trash. I don't even.
It's trash.
I can look it up real quick.
Seahawks is number 1 in that division, and they're only one game behind the Seahawks.
Yeah, that division is.
And when you look at it right now, I think that the Rams have a better team than the Seahawks when it comes to running game, receivers, quarterback.
So you have the Seahawks, the Cardinals, the Rams, and the 49ers.
Yeah. Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams, and 49ers. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of those teams are one game behind the number 1 seed in that division,
which is the Seahawks. Yeah.
So
that's going to be a close division, I think, personally, because they're all in. But see, the thing about that is a lot of them have injuries. Yeah. A lot of them, the 49ers got injuries.
Yeah, but the Rams is healthy as fuck now. So.
Yeah, facts. So it's
for the time being, but
Okay, well, I mean, think about it like this then. Let me ask you this: who do you think is a better wide receiver, Cooper or Puka? Like overall, like, you know what I'm saying, like not just who's gonna score more, but who got better hands, who runs routes better.
You can't knock the talent of Cooper Kupp, and I think he's proven more than Puka Nacua. We've seen more
because of tenure. He's been there longer.
Yeah. So we've seen more how talented he is. The only problem was the injuries, Yeah. So, me for one, as far as fantasy goes, I didn't start Puka because I didn't think they were going to start him on a Thursday. I set my lineup. Thursday came. I thought I was good. Then all of a sudden, I checked the score. Puka's playing.
He had like 20 points too at that. I think he had like 100. He had 106 yards.
Yeah, he
7
picked
receptions.
up right where he left off.
Yeah, facts. It's like he never left.
Yeah. And Cooper Kupp, the only thing that saved this fantasy week was the scoring touchdown.
The touchdown. Mm-hmm.
So obviously they are reserving him and are relying on the younger guy.
Yeah.
And the running game as well because
that boy Kyron Williams is a monster, bro. He is running like he mad. You ever see somebody like
he run like he owes somebody money?
Yo,
he's trying to get away.
Yo, he is running his butt off.
And he score every game.
Every game.
He's tied with if I'm not mistaken, check it. But he's tied at the number 2 for the most rushing touchdowns. I think with Derrick Henry. No, Derrick Henry's number 1.
No, I'm about to say I think Derrick
tied
Henry's
number 2
1.
though.
He's up there though. I think he is number 2, but I don't think he's tied with Derrick Henry though.
No, Derrick Henry's another animal.
Yeah, man, that's King Henry right there. You can't take the crown from that man right now. He's doing constant numbers.
Derrick Henry's at like 873 rushing yards for the season.
Well, I mean,
already.
Well, since we're talking about Derrick Henry, let's get into the next game. Well, the Ravens and the Bucks from last week. That was a crazy game. So the score was 41-31. Ravens up. So I think
I went for the underdog that game. My second favorite team behind the Giants has always been the Ravens, right?
Okay.
So even though I was a Ravens fan, as far as betting goes, I went for the underdog, which is Tampa Bay.
Uh-huh.
And they excited me. Pause. They started off good.
Uh-huh.
They had back-to-back sacks on Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they kind of fell apart, and so a good win for the Ravens, and good win for the Ravens.
But then it started off real hot with the Bucks though, because I think Mike.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mike
the Bucks
Evans
started off hot.
They scored in like the first quarter. Mike Evans scored that touchdown, and then they took another one from Chris Godwin because of a penalty. That was stupid. But
how the fuck does Mike Evans have the most touchdowns as of right now, of course, but every year, bro, the most receiving touchdowns, man.
Yeah.
And he's definitely staying relevant, and that's definitely a big loss for Tampa Bay. Not to mention Chris Godwin, because they were off to a hot start, and goddamn, son.
I think he's highly not underrated because it's Mike Evans, but people don't give him the credit he deserves.
They don't give him the credit he deserves because he doesn't have those big flashy plays. He doesn't have those big long yardage plays for the highlight reel.
Right.
But he is the most targeted and the most successful receiver in the red zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Baker's playing. He's balling this year. He's throwing the ball to him.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's not getting targets. He's getting targets. I think his target share is pretty high.
Baker's
as well.
getting his ass pause again, but he's getting his ass spanked against the Ravens eventually, and they caught this man chewing tobacco and shit on the sideline, bro.
Right.
Yeah, so but that is a tough loss for them as well because they started falling apart. Godwin's out for the year. Mike Evans is out at least 3 weeks, they say.
Yep.
So
you know what? I got a crazy story for you, bro. And I remember I told you I'm in 5 leagues this year. Well, I didn't tell you, but I'm in 5 leagues this year, right? Tell me how today I'm looking at my looking at the chats or whatever. Somebody put Mike Evans on the waivers. Like they dropped him and put him on the waiver. Bro, my heart dropped. It skipped a beat.
Not even try to use him for a trade?
They didn't even try to trade. They just said, I'm dropping him, and guess who they picked
Because
up?
Godwin is gone, right? So when Mike Evans does come back, he's the guy.
Bro. I was flabbergasted. And this is not even a league that has fab points, so it's based on how you doing in the league.
Yeah.
Bro, I was so hurt because I think I'm like, okay.
Sometimes motherfuckers team be so hurt you gotta drop a guy.
No, bro,
I guess.
No way.
I don't get it, but I guess.
There's no way. You would drop Mike Evans?
No, never.
Like, this is Mike Evans we're talking about. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, that's just a little funny story I have for you today. I was like, there's no way that this just happened, but yeah,
and of course he got scooped up.
Not yet, because
not yet.
Because the way it didn't clear yet. But it's just like, damn. But it is what it is. You can't, people do what they do. So let's move on to the next game. The next big game we have here is the Jets versus the Steelers. Steelers up 15-37. Now, this game also started off hot, but with the Jets, The Jets started off hot. They scored. Breece Hall was running up the gut. He was running the storm.
I'm glad they used Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of utilizing him the past couple weeks, and when you got a talent like that, like you can't not use him.
Well, it's a split backfield because him and not really, but it's somewhat.
It shouldn't even be a split backfield. We shouldn't even know about this guy Braylon.
No, you can't. He's like 6'2", 6'3", right? Yeah. He's tall. Yeah. He's young.
Yeah,
but and Breece Hall is known to getting injured, so I guess they're trying to keep their and it's good.
Season, I don't want it to label it as being known, but
No, I know, but they keep the backfield split so they can they can juggle it, and it keeps the defense guessing.
Yeah, because
they both play differently. He's very very explosive, like he runs up the gut. He's very big, so it's hard to bring him down. Breece Hall, he's very elusive. You know what I'm saying? He dodges. He's agile. So it's a little different. It just depends on who's running the ball at that time.
Because of that game, that goes back to what I said last week. I don't think the addition of Davante Adams would mean shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I don't think it would mean nothing. And of course, obviously, what I said, the Cooper Kupp trade was a lot better, and he scored a touchdown. He did his thing. And, yeah, man. Luckily for the Jets, they got a good matchup this week. And
the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to cook them.
Now, given, they haven't played Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams haven't played in, 2 years?
Yeah, right.
So they have to reconnect, I guess you can say.
It's not going to take that long.
It's not going to take that long, but, the highlight of the game was that little tackle he did, and that was about it.
Yeah. But you know what else I think about this game, though? George Pickens? Bro. Wildin'. He's
got a good matchup this week against the Giants.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying, just in reference to that game specifically, the Steelers versus the Jets, that was a good game because they're going against Sauce Gardner, C.J. Mosley, like that's a good defense, and George Pickens, like the way
a good defense,
but the way the way that he bobbled the ball and just like it's just crazy how George Pickens, always does what he does. He does.
That's what they brought him there for. That's why they drafted him, right?
Yeah.
So, it's good seeing a young guy slowly get into what they. Not to say that he was doing bad,
right?
Or anything like that, but they drafted him to be the guy immediately,
and he is.
And he is the guy immediately. And speaking about that game, what do you think about Russell Wilson coming back?
Yep. You know what? I will say, Russell Wilson, he had a rough start. Yeah. But once he got his foot in, I mean, look at the score. It was 15-37.
He threw 2 touchdowns and rushed 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, okay, so they usually have Justin Fields. He was, he was the one who was, leading the team.
Everybody's talking about why start Russell Wilson when Justin Fields is winning, right?
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that concept because Justin Fields is the future, right?
Right.
You got this guy that's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in the freaking game. Put him in the game.
Okay, so I'm gonna pivot a little bit here. So that's like the Drake May and Jacoby Brissett thing for the Patriots. Now, it's not the same caliber, but it's the same concept. You know what I'm saying?
Drake May has proven in the 2 games to be a better quarterback than Brissett.
I agree, but I'm just saying it's the same caliber. Mm-hmm. Jacoby Brissett is a vet compared to Drake May and Justin Fields, but it's the same.
I kind of disagree.
Okay.
I kind of disagree. It's
Explain.
Not the same concept because one's a Super Bowl winning quarterback
and Jacoby
one's a fucking rookie, like
That's
not
facts.
A rookie no more, but you know what I mean.
But I'm just saying in terms of their status.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like Russell did his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Russell did do his thing.
He did his thing. Like
he's trending in the waivers right now.
Look at the score. Just off that alone.
I'm not gonna say Russell's gonna win your league.
No
but
way.
If you got a bye week, if your quarterback's on a bye, then
he's a good start.
Yeah.
And I think that the Steelers is actually doing really good and in their division alone. But
that division is always a tough division.
Yeah, we're not going to even get into that right now. We gonna warm up to that. We're gonna warm up to that. But
we didn't get there.
But yeah, the Steelers are doing really good. So I mean, if we're gonna talk about these game recaps, we gotta talk about the next one. This is a big one here. The Lions versus the Vikings. Here we go. Here we go. I'm waiting to hear what you guys say about this game.
That's not the game I want to say something about, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm a little shocked now.
But I expected the Lions to win, like we talked about last week. You expected the Lions to win as well.
Absolutely.
But I didn't expect the fucking show out like that in a divisional game.
Yeah.
And I was kind of more expecting a shootout, like I mentioned when they played prior. Mm-hmm. And no, the Lions solidified that we're the top dogs in this division, and I don't give a fuck how your defense is, and I don't give a fuck if you got Justin Jefferson and.
But you gotta give it to Justin Jefferson though.
Yeah, he knows he's gonna do what he do.
Yo, I was watching that game and I was like, "There's no way they couldn't stop him at first."
Yeah,
they couldn't stop him. I'm like, "Yo, what is going on?" And the same thing for the
who they couldn't stop was that boy Jahmyr Gibbs.
Boy, what? Because that too. Yeah. Because what's his name? David Montgomery. He had a little limped off the field for a little bit.
And there's Sonic and Knuckles now, right?
Yeah, facts.
And Sonic went off.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic went off.
I think that's clever. I think that's super clever. Sonic and Knuckles, because that literally suits their personality.
No, dead ass, because Jahmyr Gibbs does the work, the every down back type of deal, and Montgomery punches it in at the goal line, so it does suit them. And like I told you last week, they have a tough run game for other opposing teams to face, and Jahmyr Gibbs just went off, man.
And once they get that run game started, then Jared Goff gets started, because then he hits you with the play action.
Yeah. So we're talking about last week, but also at the same tip, Vikings played last night,
right?
And with everybody healthy and on the Rams, that defense don't look like a number one defense no more.
Oh man, yeah, and it's kind of sad because it went from smacking everybody to getting smacked by the Lions, then getting smacked by the Rams, and the Rams' record is not good. But that's because
they're only one game behind.
But that's because they didn't have a healthy team at that.
Yeah.
So that's another reason. So I feel like the Rams could come back.
They're only one game behind. All it takes for the Seahawks to lose this week.
Yeah, which is highly possible.
Who are they playing?
Next week, they are playing. Let's see, the Seahawks are playing the Bills next week, so they could lose.
Man, and it's 95% possible.
Yeah, especially with Amari Cooper. Come on, stop it.
Yeah, they're playing the Bills.
We're not gonna even jump into the predictions just yet. We gonna get to that, but. Let's talk about the Seahawks, considering that we just mentioned them. The Seahawks, they played the Falcons last week. Now, that was a game that you was, extremely hype about, and you said that was going to be a shootout. Now, how do you feel, considering the score?
About what?
Considering the score, because the score was 34-14.
Okay.
And the Seahawks won. And you were saying that the Falcons was going to give them a run for their money. And I knew the Seahawks was going to give them.
You're being polite about it. What I specifically said was... the Seahawks was going to get mopped.
Specifically, I specifically said, no, I don't think so. And to your point, I was right. I was like, there's no way to get him mopped.
That was the underdog money line bet that I was going with. But it wasn't that surprising. And they did a good job,
Yeah.
The Seahawks did a good job. And, that was a good game.
Man, listen.
That was a good game.
And it was Kenneth Walker's birthday. The same day? That same day. It was his birthday.
Oh, that was the game that we told him to take the NyQuil and you get your shit straight.
He was like, yo, listen. He was like, yo, Mark, Derek, I hear you. I got my NyQuil. It's my birthday. I'm taking a shot after this game. But just know, I'm balling. And that was the game.
And I wasn't paying too much attention to him, especially in fantasy, because I don't own him.
Oh,
man. But I was surprised that he played, because I thought he was done. I thought when we shot, I thought that he was done. He wasn't going to play, but he definitely played.
And like I said, the last episode, I was like, he's that guy who's often on the injuries, and he's like, 1 minute he's injured.
It's like a fucking circus act when this motherfucker is playing.
But he's
doing front flips, back flips.
Yo, did you see his wide receiver catch, bro?
Dude.
He is a force.
That wide receiver catch where DK's holding the motherfucker like this.
Yo, crazy.
Yo.
I think Kenneth Walker though, he is a force to be reckoned with. You can't expect him to not perform. Like if you got Kenneth Walker and you don't start him, or if you start him, just know he's getting at least 20 points every week without question, as long as he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, man, that was a good game. The Falcons, they didn't really hold their own. I know your guy Drake London over there.
He performed as far as fantasy goes, so I'm happy. But I was really going for the underdog as far as like parlays and money lines and gambling goes. Yeah. That's why I went with the Falcons. Right. But
I just knew it wasn't gonna be like that though.
But yeah. But Kirk Cousins comes out and with this new trade with him being on the Falcons now, it's really hit or miss. Like some weeks he looks like he's doing this thing. The next week he's not doing nothing. Like, you know,
I guess for him it depends on the matchup.
I don't think that offense potential has been met yet with Bijan Robinson and Kirk Cousins and
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, it hasn't been met yet.
I don't think.
I feel like there's a lot more in the tank, and you know,
they're still gelling. They're still trying to find themselves. So,
and that's what I said last week as well. Like, remember, Kirk Cousins, he's the head honcho. He's running the offense. That there's still rapport and gelling, like you said, has to be made. And so hopefully they can pick up.
Yeah. Okay.
But I love the fact that the Seahawks is doing their thing.
Yeah.
With Geno Smith.
Geno is throwing the ball, bro. He's not shy to throw the ball. He's getting the ball to DK.
It's not even like he has to throw the ball. He has a solid running game.
He does.
Yeah, they have a solid running game. He doesn't have to throw the ball, but shit.
You know who I think has been
He's
really
going for broke.
Yeah. You know who's been really under the radar, I think, on the Seahawks? Tyler Lockett.
He's getting older now.
But he's still a pivotal piece to that team.
Yeah.
I mean, DK can't do. I mean, obviously they know he's the wide receiver one over there. They're gonna obviously double team DK, and if they do that, then they got. Well, it's just funny because you said Noah Fant last week, and he actually balled a little bit.
Yo,
I was like, I
said, no way, Noah Fant's gonna get 30 points. He didn't get 30 points,
but he balled though.
Yeah,
I was like, that was mad funny. I was watching that game. I was like, there's no way if he get a couple more yards on a touchdown, he gonna have 30 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good game, and I think the Seahawks deserved to win that game. They balled out. So.
They did. So and they had control of the game from the very beginning to the end. So yeah. Now, so I don't know what game you want to get into next, but I'm excited about this game.
I know.
I want to talk about the Green Bay Texans.
That was my next game.
That's the game I want to talk about.
Let's talk about it.
Because the scoreboard is telling lies. If you watch that game, that game was done and over with for the Texans. Done and over with for the Texans. So remember last week when I said I picked the Houston Texans to win?
Yeah.
And I said the edge is going to be the running game.
Yeah.
That was halfway true. But the passing game was supposed to, supposed to go with it.
Right.
And shout out to the Green Bay defense because they shut that boy C.J. Stroud down.
It was actually...
He didn't even have 100 passing yards. He had like 87.
Yeah, 86.
86.
No touchdowns.
My bad. I gave him an extra 1 yard. He don't even deserve that shit.
Yeah. It was bad, man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, unfortunately, in our league, I started C.J. Stroud over
which is a must start. You have to start.
But I got Jared Goff too. So I was like, hear me out. Here's my rationale. I'm like, okay, Jared Goff going against the Vikings defense, undefeated at that time, versus C.J. Stroud. Green Bay Packers defense is good, but they got C.J. Stroud. So I was like, yo, and I second guessed myself. Boy, did I regret it at the end of the week. 86 yards, no touchdowns. It was crazy.
Real quick, could we get a schedule of who the Texans played so far this year?
Who they played the entire year. Let's see.
So far this year. Because obviously we haven't seen a defense shut them down like that.
Yeah, that was the first time that they were actually...
And
okay.
I don't want to jump the topic.
I got you.
Okay.
So they played... The first game they played... Hold on. I'm still pulling it up. This is last year.
The Colts?
Yeah, the Colts.
So we had the Colts. It was 29-27, Texans. We had against the Bears. Texans won 19-13.
Okay.
You had the Vikings. The Vikings beat them 34-7. You had the Texans versus
So
Jags.
basically, they had a tough-ass schedule to begin with.
Yeah, they beat the Jags.
Defense-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had the Texans and the Bills, and then they beat the Bills.
They had a really tough schedule.
And then they beat the Patriots.
So with good defenses they played.
And when they play people like the Patriots, they smack them.
No, of course, but they played tough defenses.
Damn, that's
right?
bad. Why you gotta say it like that?
Because it's funny. But the Green Bay watched their tapes, and they figured out a way
To stop them.
and get to that boy, and and they did a good job. Especially what I was saying, Tank Dell's obviously a must start, blah blah, which he still is. That's just one bad game. You can't account one bad game.
Shit, you know who they couldn't stop though?
Who?
That boy Joe Mixon. That boy Joe Mixon had 115 yards and 2
That's why I was saying I was
touchdowns.
partially right.
Joe Mixon was running through them boys in Green Bay.
And of course I'm watching that game because I got Joe Mixon on fantasy. So and he did his thing, and but they just needed a little bit
of the passing
more,
game.
a little bit of passing game.
Yeah.
And it was a 1-point game, right?
No, it was actually a 2-point game.
A 2-point game. I'm sorry, but just imagine if he threw for 150 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine if Nico was playing. That would have been an entirely different game.
Well, if Nico was playing, I don't think it would have made a difference anyways because
Really?
they found a way to stop the quarterback. They found a way to stop C.J. Stroud. So if they stop C.J. Stroud, it don't matter if you have Jesus Christ on the field. you know what I mean?
Jesus Christ? I don't know about that one.
He worked miracles.
Yo, facts. But yeah, man, I think that was one of the top games of the week, considering that the Lions and the Vikings was one of the most hyped games. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people weren't really a lot of people realized that the Green Bay and Texans was a good game, but everybody was focused on that Lions and Vikings game just because of how they are in their division. Mm-hmm. But that was also a really good game. And then, of course, we're going to go into the next game, the Giants and the Eagles. Now, we talked about this game last week, and I specifically said it's going to be an emotional game because Saquon left the Giants to go to the Eagles, and he's gonna show out, which he did, which I knew he was, and it was 28-3. I mean, how do you feel about that game? Because I think that game was just, it wasn't nowhere near where I thought it was going to be.
I feel like what happened was expected to happen.
Okay.
And what I really want to mention is that you saw the highlights where the coach was telling Saquon, like, yo, I'm going to put you in. You're only 12 yards away from your all-time, And he said, no, let them young boys eat. So I respect that.
Saquon is a really down-to-earth guy, bro.
Yo,
He's
is,
humble.
man. Like, why the fuck we got rid of him? Like,
man, you a little biased. We not gonna see. This is what you was talking about. You feel a way about it, and it's crazy because when I
love Saquon, bro. Like,
he's a good running back.
Everybody loves Saquon, and yeah, bro. Like anybody, and the crazy thing is about Saquon is that he wanted to stay a Giant.
Yeah,
he didn't give a fuck about the money, the ring, going on a contending team. Yeah, he stayed loyal to the Giants, and the Giants turned their back on him.
Well, you got to look at it this way. When you got a quarterback like Daniel Jones, who they benched, by the way, they benched him. Mm-hmm. But when you got a quarterback like Daniel Jones on the O-line who's not blocking for you, I mean, what do you want? What do you expect? You can't. That
being said, he still said, "Yo, I'm a Giant till the end of me. Just meet me halfway."
Yeah.
And they didn't want to do it.
It's just crazy. These contracts and the contractual agreements, and then when it comes to money to these teams, it's that plays a whole nother level in its involvement. So it's just, I don't know, man. I just think Saquon has a better deal with going to the Eagles. Unfortunately,
of course he does.
Yeah,
but as a Giants fan, like, I don't even know what jersey to fucking buy. I'm not gonna buy a jersey this year.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna just keep my jersey in the closet for now.
You can get Neighbors, but it's only a matter of time before they fuck that boy up.
Well, Neighbors didn't even. Yeah, he just got off a concussion protocol the week prior,
And the Eagles shut down that whole offense.
Yeah,
and,
and we were talking about Wan'Dale Robinson and everything last week too.
Yeah.
So,
which I still believe what I said, but it was a tough matchup, and you can't let 1 week
Slow you down.
dictate your decision. Which is not even 1 week. They got another tough matchup this week.
yeah.
I don't know who they're playing. They're playing another tough
Giants
team.
playing the Steelers.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for them.
So bear with me. Bear with the things I said with Tyrone Tracy and all of that. Bear with me. They just got two, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
What's
I mean,
another recap from last week you want to talk about?
I mean, we could talk about another one. I mean, we could, or you want to get into the trades because that's a big one too. Because I mean, if you want to talk about another recap, it was I think it was the Panthers and the Commanders, right?
Yo, okay. So when I said last week that everybody on the Commanders must start, it was true, except
Clearly.
for Jaden Daniels, right? For the little bit of plays he had, bro, he did a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 rushing yards,
Yo.
and Marcus Mariota came out and fucking
So,
showed out. I won't believe in him next week, but
No way.
Yeah,
but imagine if Jaden Daniels would have played that game, though.
Yeah.
It would have been nasty.
yeah.
It would have been nasty.
Yeah, his stock kind of fell because he missed that one game, but we're talking about a guy who is in the top. I won't even say 5 in the top 3 quarterbacks right now.
Right. Absolutely.
In Jaden Daniels, so
Yeah, man. It was interesting.
he's got better numbers than guys like Patrick Mahomes, and you know what I mean.
But which I want to say doesn't make sense, but in reality, it does make sense. He's the new talent.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes he got a dynasty. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
been playing for a while. You know what I'm saying?
And Patrick Mahomes is playing like ass, and his team's still winning.
But he's winning. He's still winning.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it don't even matter how you
Now
play.
they're the only undefeated team in the NFL.
Yeah. So this is why we're gonna get into these trades because if we talk about these trades, it's gonna be real interesting. We got the latest trades coming up here. I mean, obviously we spoke about Devontae Adams going to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
We also talked about Amari Cooper going to the Bills. But I want you to, enlighten the audience here about the most latest trade.
D-Hop?
Yes,
D-Hop
sir.
going to the Chiefs?
Yes, sir.
It might seem like a great trade on paper, but in my opinion, that's like the Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams trade.
You think so?
I don't think that D-Hop is going to make a big difference over there.
With Travis Kelce and Juju and
If anything, it would make Travis Kelce's production go up a little bit.
because they're going to guard him.
Yeah. But I don't think that he's going to do anything major like that. I think he's going to kind of be I think that the Chiefs are kind of be the same. The highlight of the Chiefs offense is an older guy like Kareem Hunt coming in and their running game keeping that team in float.
Right.
And winning games for them.
But what's crazy? I also heard a rumor that they tried to get Cooper. They tried to get Cooper as well, but they declined it.
If they got Cooper Kupp,
That would have been
my
nasty.
opinion would have been the opposite, different.
Bro, that would have been super unfair. Like
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, D-Hop, Cooper, Juju, Kareem Hunt, like
There's no such thing as unfair in negotiations.
cut it out.
And if you negotiate with someone and both party agrees, there's no such thing as unfair.
Yo, that's a super team. That's like the 96 Bulls, bro. That's crazy.
What? Who do they have?
Well, I'm saying if that trade would have went through with Cooper,
Oh, if it would
if it would have went through, that would have been nasty, bro.
Yeah.
That would have been nasty for anybody.
This guy Patrick Mahomes got the same number as Daniel Jones right now,
Yeah, but he's still winning.
and he's still winning
On paper, he's still winning.
because of Kareem Hunt coming in there and doing this thing.
Yeah.
He made himself a must start again in fantasy football.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it was crazy too because he was irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. So I mean,
He wasn't irrelevant. It was
Okay.
just that the Browns went for the younger talent as far as Nick Chubb goes.
yeah,
and we've seen how that play out.
Amen.
As far as game recaps go, Nick Chubb scored a touchdown.
Yeah, it was nice too. Nice little spin, but I mean,
that guy keeps getting career-ending injuries and keeps coming back.
Hey, listen, he's I don't know.
How many times he fucking broke that knee or that?
Listen, we just gonna let it rock. Let Nick Chubb do what he do. He want to keep playing. That's kind of like how Tua is, but we gonna get to that later on too. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I do want to get into the NFC North Conference though. Mm-hmm. I know you want to talk about that, considering that entire conference is stacked.
I think that's
going to be a tough one.
A major division in the NFC this year.
Who do you think is going to win? So they got the Lions, the Vikings, Packers, and Bears. They're all the Lions is 5-1, the Vikings is 5-2.
They're all one game behind each
other. Correct,
right?
except the Bears. The Bears are the Bears are 4-2.
One game behind.
Yeah, because they had a bye week.
I dig the Bears, bro. I love the Bears.
To win the whole conference?
I don't know about win the conference, but to compete.
No, compete with the Lions, because let's be real, the Vikings got to a good start, but they're falling off now.
Nobody, not even fall off, because they had 2 straight losses. Everybody knows, like, when the Vikings it was doing their thing when they were undefeated, you're not taking that really seriously,
right?
When it comes to playoff and stuff like that, we already know that's the Lions division,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that the Bears are up there in that division, and Green Bay. I think the Vikings are gonna kind of slowly diminish. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I think they're gonna slowly kind of diminish, but that's a 3-headed beast in that division. With right now, obviously 4-headed, but I think the Vikings are gonna kind of diminish a little bit, not by much, but when we're talking about keeping it competitive for that number 1 spot, I think Green Bay, obviously the Lions and the Bears.
So
because Caleb Williams is getting better and better every game.
Yeah, he's gelling with the team. He's learning.
And they're stacked. On paper, they're stacked with the most talent out of anybody over there.
Yeah. Whoa, what do you mean? Like between in that division?
In that division.
No way. You can't say that. More than the Lions? No way.
They're about equal.
I wouldn't say that. There's no way, because they got Caleb Williams. They got who? They got DJ Moore,
Keenan Allen. Swift.
But
they got a pretty.
Their defense
is good.
Their
defense is amazing.
Their defense is great.
Not even good. They're amazing. And let's not get it twisted. The Lions' defense is trash.
No, what?
Bro, look at the stats.
Look at Anzalone, though.
The Lions give up more receiving yards to any other receiver.
But Anzalone is leading in sacks right now, in the whole league.
Yeah,
you can't even come on, bro. You can't say the Lions defense is trash, or you can't even if they give up yards, their defense is still putting up numbers. They're still getting to the quarterback.
Who the fuck in their right mind owns the Lions defense?
Hey, listen.
Week after week in fantasy.
Not week after week.
Nobody.
I got them this week.
So what are you talking about?
But their defense is good though. You can't deny
their defense is it's average
compared to the Bears.
Compared to the Bears, yeah.
Well, I will
look at the stats. The Lions give up the most receiving yards to any other wide receiver they play.
Okay, and you know
that's
what?
A fact. That's not something I'm just saying.
I know. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I'm disagreeing with the fact that you're saying the Lions defense is kind of trash. That's
I want to say I'm not saying trash. I'm saying they're average.
You borderline. That's like saying
average is trash.
Yes, that's like think about it. That's like saying I passed my test with a 70. It's average, but I passed. Like nah, cut it out.
That's like you coming home with a C plus and saying it's trash. No, C plus is average.
That's passing. Barely.
Trash is a fucking F, bro. You're trash.
Okay, well, okay. I still think. Well, it's crazy. That first game that Caleb Williams played, if it wasn't for their defense, they would have lost that. He didn't even have 100 yards that game. Yeah, 93, 92?
But that's what I'm saying. He's getting better and better and getting more comfortable in his own skin and comfortable in the field. Because you got to understand, when you come from, you come out of college, right? Of course, being on the college field, there's still the lights and everything above,
Right.
But it's different when you're on the NFL.
Because everybody's on the same level as you.
Everybody's on the same level,
Yeah.
but now we got CBS. We got all these, like, everybody is watching you.
Right.
Like, where nobody, I won't say nobody because, college has the backing, but it's not the pros. And so they do take a while to accumulate to that aspect of being in the pros. And of course, he didn't show out his very first game. And
That's to be expected,
and
though.
first of all, we're asking too much for these players, because the number one draft pick, right? It's not like a wide receiver. It's not like a running back. But when you're chosen number one as a quarterback, you're in charge of the entire show. So there's a lot more pressure on a quarterback being drafted high.
So let me ask you this: how do you feel about Bryce Young? He was drafted number one the year prior.
Yeah.
And look what he did. So he leaves the team, but they benched him. He was the number one draft pick. How you going to draft your number one draft? Your number one draft pick.
Hey,
You see what I'm saying? Like, you think? Okay, let me ask you this: if Caleb Williams
but
would
did the Panthers put pieces around that boy like the Bears put pieces around?
but that's a whole different conversation, though. But I'm just saying, if Caleb Williams, if Bryce Young was, or matter of fact, let me go back to what I said. If Caleb Williams was doing what Bryce Young was doing, do you think they would have benched him?
Yeah, of course.
No way. You think they would have benched Caleb Williams if Bryce Young, if he was doing what Bryce Young was doing and he was losing all his games like that? I think they spent money on him and they believed in him. They built a team around him. So there's no way they would have just been like, oh, okay, you know what? You're not doing good. Who else would they would have given? Who else would they
I
have
don't
started?
even know. That's what I was about to ask you.
That's my point.
Who's
You see?
behind them?
Yeah. So I just think it's one of those things where if you're a first round draft pick, I feel like you have to either show out, and if you don't, depending on who your second string quarterback is, you can't just not take him out, or take him out.
I just believe in the Bears organization
As a whole.
as a whole of what they did, because obviously they knew that they had the number one pick,
Right.
and they made moves to make him come into a good situation,
Right.
where he can take some of that pressure off of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I dig the Bears, man, and I think the Bears are gonna they're only one game behind the Lions, and I think that's gonna be a good and tough division, and I believe one of those teams from that division are going to go all the way to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
I believe it's going to be the Lions, but that's my personal
Whether
opinion.
it be the Lions, whether it be the Bears, or whether
Green
it
Bay.
be the Green Bay motherfucking Packers, I believe one of those teams in that division
It's
are
gonna
going
go.
to represent the NFC.
Hey, my money's on the Lions. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Well, everybody's money's on the Lions,
I
but at the same time, you can't knock the Green Bay Packers like that,
Yeah,
because that boy Jordan Love,
he's a monster.
he's tied at number 2 for passing touchdowns with the missed games.
That's crazy. Yo, when you think about that, how is that even possible?
With the missed
With
games.
the missed games.
Jordan
Yeah.
Love, that was a good move by Green Bay to because remember, everybody was kind of hating in the beginning when
Yeah.
Jordan Love came in and Aaron Rodgers
Yep.
and blah blah. Green Bay knew exactly what to do and send Aaron Rodgers off, and they send him off at the right time because he's not even.
You're not doing that. He's 2-5. Matter of fact, what's the dude? What's the dude?
we take fucking out of your nickname. Your name is not Aaron fucking Rodgers no more. We take that out.
So what was this dude's name from the Jets before? Zach Wilson? Was it
Yeah.
Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
He has a better record than Aaron Rodgers does, right? I think Aaron Rodgers is 2-5, and Zach Wilson was like 3 and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like it was. I don't think he's
Sam Darnold fucking last year had a better record starting off the season.
Yeah.
With the Jets when Aaron Rodgers was out.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do want to kind of just briefly get into the AFC North Conference because I know you was talking about the NFC North. So I kind of want to just talk about the AFC North Conference real quick. The Ravens, the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Browns. Now, the Browns and the Bengals, I'm not worried about. But the Steelers, I think the Steelers could take it. I think the Steelers could take that conference.
That's always
it's a toss-up.
All
But
bias aside,
they're tied right now.
for the past 10 years, that's always been the toughest division in the AFC, right? The Ravens obviously is doing their thing, right? The Steelers are right there. Who's ahead of the division right now?
They're tied. So the Ravens and the Steelers are tied for 5 and 2.
The Bengals are
The Bengals are 3 and 4.
okay. So let's not get it twisted. The Bengals are slowly creeping up to what we expect them to be.
Yep.
So that's another three-headed monster that
You have to look out for. Yeah.
So you might win the division, but one of those teams in that division is going to be a wild card.
Yep. And it's probably not going to be the Browns, but Deshaun
No,
Watson.
not the Browns. I'm talking about the Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah. Well, I just kind of want to bring this up because I know last week I spoke about the Ravens being Super Bowl champs every 12 years. Now, I do want to apologize to everyone. I said that they won every 12 years starting from 2000, but it was actually 2001. And they won in 2001, and then they won in 2013. Again, I don't want to give anybody false information, so I fact-checked it just to make sure. It was 2001 they won, and then 2013.
Yeah,
so,
I watched Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl in your dad's garage.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. Well,
that ass. In your father's garage, I watched that.
Yeah, so...
And, yeah.
But to that point, I'm just saying that the Ravens are due for a win if the stars align.
They're always due for a win. Like,
Hey, listen, with Derrick Henry and everybody on that team, I think they could pull it out this year. But you know what? I'm not going to get too deep into that.
I don't. As much as, like I said, the Ravens is my second favorite team, man. And it's been like this since childhood. So I'm not just saying that now, but I don't believe they can prove me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
Statistically speaking, mobile quarterbacks don't win a Super Bowl.
Which
they
is
might
crazy.
make a Super Bowl appearance,
Right.
but they don't win it. So maybe Lamar could be that guy to break the trend. You know what I'm saying? But statistically speaking, I would hope for them to win. But statistically speaking,
It's not going to happen.
is
Well, okay. Okay, well,
Now let me ask you this: since we're talking about the Ravens, right?
okay.
As far as fantasy goes, who do you trust on the Ravens offense to start as a must start every week?
I would say Zay Flowers, but that man has been injured off and on for the last
There's only two
2
guys.
games. Yeah,
There's only two guys: Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
yeah. There's no one else.
If you have Zay Flowers on your fantasy team,
Inconsistent.
hit or miss.
Yeah.
And if it ain't Zay Flowers, is all of a sudden Rashad Bateman. You know what I'm saying?
But he's also been hit or miss.
Yeah. But he's doing a lot better than he did in previous years.
Mm-hmm. Mark Andrews is another one hit or miss.
Exactly. So
I'd
you
say
can't
likely.
you can't trust as far as fantasy number goes. Mark Andrews has been doing this thing for the past 3 weeks, but you can't trust a fucking guy that has 5 targets, if that, per game.
I wouldn't even say 3. I would say 2 weeks because the week before that he had a donut. So, in the first part.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
So it's
right.
3 weeks, right? So, yeah, he had good fantasy numbers, but you can't trust a guy like Mark Andrews to start on your fantasy team with 5 targets, the max per game.
Right.
And that same goes for Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
The same goes for Rashad Bateman. All 3 of these guys have great fantasy weeks leading up to today, but the only consistent that is guaranteed and a no-brainer to start is Lamar Jackson and
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Yeah.
I think Zay Flowers could be a no-brainer start. Like, you can take him out for someone else, like maybe a Tank Dell, if you have them both and you have to kind of decide.
I'll tell you this: if I had a toss-up this week on my fantasy team between Tank Dell
and Zay Flowers,
I'm picking Tank Dell.
Who?
Well, first of all, this week's already done for the Ravens.
Well, for the next,
so it's kind of already been proven
Yeah.
Assuming that, Tank Dell does his thing. But, yeah, I would choose Tank Dell.
Okay.
We were talking about a flex position. Like, say, if you had the two of them, as of right now, I would pick Tank Dell.
Tank Dell.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we should move on to the next segment for our waivers and injury report, because everyone who, especially our viewers who are watching, they want to know who's injured, they could pick up to replace the people who are injured, or just to build depth in their league. So the
I got some
injury,
notes right here. So.
yeah, I have a few that I think, and we more than likely probably have some of the same people. So, I mean, we can kind of start with I'm just going to read off the list of people. There's a lot. Let me just say that to the viewers. There are a lot of people who are injured this week, but I'm going to just read off some of the ones that are injured that are very, prevalent. Puka Nacua, but he's off.
He's
off. The injury report this week. He just played.
Yeah, why they play us like that? Like, last minute, like
Right, facts.
on
At
a
the last
Thursday
second.
night,
On a Thursday.
Yeah, like
He went nuclear,
Yeah.
though, so that's good. And then we got Cooper Kupp. He was off. Now we got CMC. Now, they're talking about Christian McCaffrey coming back week 10. He's trending upward. So if he comes back week 10, that's going to change a lot for the 49ers. So we can do that.
because Brandon Ayuk is out.
Exactly. That's another one. Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, he's another one. So that 49ers team is just going through it right now when it comes to injury.
And remember that division, they're only one game behind the number one seed in that division,
Right.
the Seahawks.
So that's another one. Then we got Deshaun Watson. He's out. Then we have Metcalf, who is injured. Jaden Daniels, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin. Now, those people there are all key pieces to their teams. The Seahawks have DK Metcalf. I think he's activated though. Or he's borderline questionable.
He wasn't like injured like that. It was just, I think he's gonna play this week.
Yeah, but he's questionable right now though.
He's questionable, of course.
Yeah. So I think
But that guy's a freak of nature. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't even need to practice.
word.
He doesn't need to practice. Like
Yeah, and I just think that for, those injuries, there are some people on the waivers that we could pick up to kind of fill in the gaps with some of those people. Now, I want you to start with your waivers, and I'll go ahead and give you some of my waivers.
the obvious, the obvious thing is Tampa Bay, with Godwin being gone for the whole season.
Yep.
And Mike Evans being gone for at least 3 weeks. So there's a lot of guys to pick up over there.
Yep.
And let me ask you this: who do you think on Tampa Bay, if you have Godwin or Mike Evans, and let's say your fantasy team is there isn't guys that you can pick up like that, so you have to specifically go with Tampa Bay. Who would you pick up in Tampa Bay?
Sterling Shepard.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I would pick up Sterling Shepard without question.
Sterling Shepard. Everybody went with the rookie. But Sterling Shepard,
He's a vet. Why would you?
He's a vet, and he can slowly become. Well, not slowly. He's, in my opinion, he's the wide receiver one over there.
Without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
there's a no brainer.
And the tight end over there,
Right.
which I picked them up too. But yeah. So another one would be Tillman
Yeah.
on the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
He did his things. He had a touchdown. He had the most targets last week. And if you're in need, I think you should go pick up Tillman.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And since we're talking about the Browns, if you're in need of a quarterback, this guy's not going to win your fucking league or anything like that. But definitely go pick up Jameis Winston because history
Word.
would tell you that he throws for 300 yards a game.
Yep.
He throws 3+ touchdowns per game.
Absolutely.
He's not consistent as far as completion and incompletions go, that ratio, and winning the game. But fantasy numbers, he puts up fantasy numbers.
So I do have a quick. I kind of want to just interject for a second now. In the waiver, not even just the waivers. Did you know that the Miami Dolphins signed another quarterback?
No.
They signed another quarterback
Who
to the
they
PUP
sign?
squad.
What are you saying?
They signed CJ Beathard. or
Who the
Bethard.
fuck is that?
He used to be on I know.
Who the fuck is CJ Brown?
He used to be on Jacksonville. So
Okay.
my point is they signed another one, even with Tua coming back. And that's another person for the viewers on injury report that I did not mention that is coming back this week. Tua is if he clears, I don't know if
That
he
guy got a fucking death wish, bro. Like,
yeah, I don't know. His son wrong with him, but he
nigga
wants to
said,
play.
Like, yo, football. I'll play football to the death of me. And like, he doesn't even understand how true those words are, bro.
Yeah,
like,
he could really lose his life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
he was like, yo, if I die, I die. Like,
but yeah, but realistically, they picked up another quarterback, so they're probably thinking about phasing out probably Tua at some point anyway. Because why would they sign another quarterback? They already got 3 other quarterbacks on the team, so but. We're not gonna harp too long on injury report. We gave you guys a little bit of injury report and a little bit of waivers. I think we should move on to the game predictions, and then we're just gonna end it on a nice note. So the game predictions, I'm only gonna name about 2 or 3 games from the game predictions. I want to kind of get into that, so you can kind of give some of your parlays real quick.
Okay.
The first one obviously would be the Jets and the Pats. That's gonna be.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer, right?
As bad as the Jets are, like, the Pats are even worse.
Yeah.
So
the next I would say the Dolphins and the Cardinals. Now you gotta really think about this because, like I said, Tua's coming back.
Is it official he's playing this week?
He's still he has to still clear.
It's still up in the air.
It's
right?
still up in the air. But if he
No, it was announced while you guys were here.
Oh, it's announced. While we're
look,
He's
it was
starting.
announced. So he's
yeah,
playing.
let's go Miami.
Yes,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Hey, listen, Tua back, and you see, there was memes and stuff all about Tyreek Hill.
To go with that game, bro. This guy has been the most overhyped quarterback ever in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. Like,
Yeah, he was injured. He was injured.
I
He's
don't give a
out.
fuck if he's injured or not.
You know
When
what I'm saying?
he's
But
healthy, he ain't doing shit.
I know, but I'm saying he was out for a little bit. He comes back, he played a little bit, and he balled a little bit, but now he's not really doing much.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Nah,
yeah, now it was announced while we were here.
Nah,
That's
I
crazy.
think Miami's gonna take that one.
Yeah,
Which, when we all thought that Miami, I don't know if we all thought, but I thought they might have took that L against the Colts because everybody was injured.
yeah.
They surprisingly won.
I couldn't believe
They
that.
surprisingly won. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the
But-
game that would have won me $90,000.
Jesus
Wow,
Christ.
90K, bro.
Yeah,
Damn.
if I won all of my games, every
Damn.
single one of them except that one game.
That hurts.
And that's your team, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
I was just doing every single one of them. So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, Dolphins should take this one.
Yeah, without question.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only gonna say 2 more games, and then I kind of want to just, we do have a little surprise for you guys, but I just want to just kind of end it, but
Oh, you're
real
gonna
quick.
surprise me as well. Man.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Of course, you gotta keep you on your toes. You know what I'm saying? But we have Green Bay and Jacksonville. Now I think Jacksonville is gonna put up a good fight, but I think Green Bay is gonna take
Nah.
that one.
Nah.
He said nah.
Nah. Green Bay's gonna
Nah.
murder them. Like I said,
Hey, listen, they
that boy Jordan Love is a special type of talent. dude.
Yeah.
Like like everybody's hyping up. See, he never had the hype his rookie year, like a guy like C.J. Stroud,
Right.
A guy like Jaden Daniels, but that doesn't knock what he does on that field,
Right.
And how good of a fucking talent he is.
Okay.
I believe fully in Jordan Love, so I'm going with Green Bay.
I'm not saying I was going against Green Bay. I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm not saying
I
that,
just
but-
think after that last game, but they played the Patriots.
Yeah.
So I mean, they gave them a little
No,
a
they
morale
played the
boost.
Houston Texans.
Oh, they played the Texans. I'm tripping. That's even worse.
Yeah,
So
they showed up and showed out, bro. Like
no, you talking about Green Bay? I'm talking about Jacksonville.
Okay.
Jacksonville played the
Oh, yeah.
Patriots. So that's what I'm saying. They probably has a little bit of a morale boost for them. They're gonna go in there probably trying to play Tank Bigsby's there. You know what I'm saying? I think that they're
Remember
gonna.
last week I told you that Tank Bigsby was a must start.
Yeah.
Man, imagine in our league, Tank Bigsby was benched.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, and that was I'm not gonna go into details, but that was a difference maker to that team
Versus-
not winning that week.
I'm not even going to talk about that. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I think the last one I want to talk about before we get into the surprise for you guys is the Cowboys and the 49ers. How do you feel about that one?
That's a must win for both of those teams. So I don't even know what to feel about
Hey,
that.
I think CeeDee Lamb is gonna go there with a purpose, and he's gonna make it seem like, especially with them with the 49ers being banged up right now. I think, well, Jordan Mason is playing. He was another one else on the injury report, but he's definitely playing. I think he cleared it. So, yeah, I don't know.
As a betting man, I don't know who to go with. As a fan of that division, murder these fucking Cowboys.
Yeah.
Murder them.
Yeah,
Put them in they like stomp them while they're while they're
kick
down.
them while they're down. Yeah, because they not doing too hot right now.
Especially you seen the fucking remarks that Jerry Jones had about Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was
He's
crazy.
like, yo, we could have got Derrick Henry, but I don't think he would have gelled in and fit in with what we got going on.
Bro, Derrick Henry will
Bitch,
gel.
he would have done miracles for y'all. Like,
First of all, Derrick Henry will gel with any team. He's a workhorse.
yeah, yeah.
Yo, he gelled
He
on any
is
team
the workhorse. You know,
of this generation, literally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
And if I'm not mistaken, Derrick Henry's never been injured and out substantially like that.
nope, not that I can remember.
He's a workhorse and he's healthy as a motherfucker.
He spends 250K.
And I don't even know
on
when
his diet.
I don't even know when his prime is gonna be over, because as of right now he's in his prime. You know.
Yeah, he's doing numbers. He passed Marshawn Lynch right now.
Yeah.
So he's doing numbers. But okay, I do want to say thank you to all the viewers. You know, I mean, if you have any last final words before we end the show this episode. But I do want to say next week we do have a special guest that will be attending with us. So stay tuned for that one, and we will be back next week. I mean, is there anything else want to kind of end?
No. Y'all stay safe this weekend and enjoy the football weekend. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't you have a surprise?
Y'all have a
That
blast.
was a surprise. I don't
Yeah,
want.
what's the surprise, man? I
Yo,
was looking
the
for
surprise is we have a special guest next week, and I'm gonna let y'all. And I'm gonna let y'all know
Okay.
that episode's gonna be crazy. So if y'all some loyal viewers, definitely check that out, because next week is gonna be crazy.
And I do want to add, if y'all do like what we're doing over here and the content and all of that,
Absolutely.
So please do like and subscribe and
Yeah.
comment and just show love if you do like it. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
We appreciate all the love and all the subscribers that we have now, but we love what we do. We love the content. We love football. So, if you want us to keep doing what we're doing, please like, subscribe, or comment. And yeah, until next time, this is the Playbook Channel with your boy Derek.
Yes, sir.
All right.